We again thank all of you for coming to enjoy the concert tonight. You are all points of influence for our students. Family and friends play an important role in the success of a young person's education. There are a few people in the audience that we would like to recognize in making this festival a reality. When I call your name, would you kindly rise and be recognized? Please hold your applause until all names have been read. Mr. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, Moanalua High School Vice Principal. Mr. Jeff Horstman, 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏 Middle School Assistant Principal. Mr. Carlos Ramirez, 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗙𝗦𝗧 High School Vice Principal. Mr. Shan Tamashiro, 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Middle School Principal. Mrs. Lynn Ajifu, 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Elementary School Principal. Ms. Sherilyn Pan, 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Middle School Vice Principal. Mr. Mike Jose, 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗙𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 Intermediate Principal. Mrs. Tanvi Iona, 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗙𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 Intermediate Assistant Principal. Mr. Kelvin Wong, 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Vice Principal. Mr. Greg Nakata, Moanalua Middle School Vice Principal. Mr. Albert Hedrick, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Middle School Principal. Mrs. Jayan Williams, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Middle School Vice Principal. Miss Robin Martin, Moanalua High School Principal. Mr. David Finley, Moanalua High School Vice Principal. Let's give them a round of applause. Hey, I was busy reading the names. Did anyone stand up? You guys are shamed. Thank you for all that you do. The final group of this evening will be the 2025 Central District High School Honor Orchestra. This orchestra is composed of student musicians from 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗦𝗏, 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Moanalua, and Bradford High Schools, and is conducted by Dr. Mick. Student MCs will now introduce their selections.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Shin, and I'm from Moanalua High School.
And my name is Nina Presto, and I am from 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 High School.
The High School Honor Orchestra will be performing 3 selections for you this evening. The first piece will be Joseph Boulogne's Symphony No. 2. Born in 1745 in the French Caribbean to wealthy planter and an enslaved African woman, Boulanger became famous for his virtuoso violin skills and symphonic works. A talented fencer and military figure, Boulanger overcame racial prejudice to leave a lasting impact on classical music.
David Borenstein's Adagio is for string orchestra is a deeply expressive work, featuring lyrical lines and rich harmonies. The piece creates a meditative atmosphere, inviting quiet reflection through its slow pacing and emotional depth.
The orchestra will conclude with John S. Wharton's Hoedown for string orchestra. This piece is a high-energy, foot-tapping celebration of American folk dance. With catchy rhythms and lively melodies, it brings the fun and excitement of a hoedown to life through vibrant string playing and rhythmic energy.
And now, please welcome the Central District High School Honor Orchestra under the direction of Dr. James Mick.
I'm going to talk just for one more moment. Is that okay? I got told before I got to have a microphone, I guess. So I feel like I can project. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel very fortunate in my regular job. I'm a teacher, right? So I train future music educators. We've already talked about how phenomenal. I knew it was going to happen. I just had to. You saw it before me. But, so I'm a teacher. So where I work at the college, I'm a, as we already talked about, a recovering middle school orchestra teacher. And one of the things that I get to do is I get to work with students that are just slightly older than this, that then want to turn around and emulate these amazing people we've already talked about that are here. And by the way, the fact that I was able to visit all 10 of the schools that students fed into this, that is phenomenal. That does not happen. So not only did I get to work with these amazing students that are on the stage, but I got to work with all of their peers in the schools. And that says a lot about, again, the teachers and the administrators and how they set this up, that it's the whole program. It's everyone that's involved with this. So it's kind of a phenomenal thing that I'm excited to actually share with other districts and see if we can maybe get this going in other places in the United States. But one of the things that I always talk to my students about at the college level is that we're teachers first. We're teachers first. And so number one, we've got to be able to speak the language of students, right? We've got to be able to get them to want to open up, to trust, to feel safe, right? Now, the other part that's kind of cool is that we happen to teach music. And music is so powerful, right? We can all think about those albums and those songs that transport us back to a moment in time, right? Imagine those songs that come on the radio and all of a sudden you're thinking about, I don't know what we used to drive back in the day, the Mustang that you're sitting in, type of a thing. But you know what I'm talking about, right? That feeling that you have inside and the magic that aesthetic, education is able to do for us. So these students, what they have going on right now is we're in a time where lots of times technology can make things easier and faster, but these instruments do not there's nothing you can put on a computer, there's no app that makes playing these instruments any easier than it ever was 500 years ago. And so it's a really phenomenal thing that we're continuing to support this in the schools, because not only is that kind of unique, but music, there is no one answer, right? We don't track a problem and then all of a sudden we have an answer. So we have to agree that we're going to maybe have some disagreements, but we're going to find a way and we're going to try to unify what we're doing, and we're going to have to live in the messiness of lots of opinions that are going on. And that is something that's really special that not every field gets to have. In music, we get to have that. And so for me to be able to work with students, particularly at this caliber, we can then heighten those things. We can talk about being in the moment. We can talk about being present, right? It's not just being on cell phones or not doing that, but also creating moods, creating emotion. And there are times in life that we don't have energy, but yet we have to, due to a partner, or we have children, or we're in a certain situation, we have to project like we have that. And that's what we were working on, or what I was trying to work on with us, right? So chamber music is being able to communicate, being able to move, right? And so we're also creating a story, we're trying to play differently. So there's all of those musical concepts that are there, but we're also talking about being present and knowing that moments are fleeting. But yet, this music will always encapsulate this moment in time. And even when we leave and we head to all these different places, when they hear this music or there's something that triggers these memories and these feelings for them, they'll be right back here for the rest of their lives, even when they're 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. It's a really kind of amazing thing that we have. This last piece is amazing. We're going to throw a little bit of a Hawaiian spin to it, I think. And they are going to do everything that we talked about times 10, right? It's going to be awesome. And yes, I only conducted one of the 3 pieces. So, you're going to enjoy this last one. Well, let's get set up, and let's do it, folks. It's going to be awesome. One, two, three, four.
I am so fortunate to be able to look upon this group and see some familiar faces. I used to be a music teacher years ago. I still do teach. I'm kind of like the fun uncle, so when some of the teachers have to take leave or sick or vacation, I get to come and work with some of these folks. And it just reminds me how fortunate we are as musicians to be able to do a subject in school like math and English. You don't talk about playing, right? But every time you get to go to orchestra class, you get to play. And so that's so fun. Keep that with you as you go through your young adult lives. That's wonderful. One thing that I wanted to mention, the first piece, aside from the name of the composer being really awesome, right? Chevalier de Saint-Georges, right? It's amazing what they did here on stage without a conductor. And I swear, a conductor is important. It's not just job security for these teachers. It is important, though, because it teaches these students how to communicate with one another, how to listen. And they do listen. So even, when you're at home and you're talking to them and it's like a wall and they're not paying attention to you, they are paying attention, right? You just have to be told like 5 times. Do your laundry or pick up your clothes off the floor. But the things that they do in class, it is play, but it is so much more than that. That communication and being able to empathize with one another, they take that into their adult lives. So great work, folks. Another round of applause. Please bear with us as the students and teachers prepare for the grand finale of this evening's performance. You have yet another opportunity to visit the donation box in the lobby.